Hello friends, welcome to my channel Quiz and Storyline. Friends, I kindly request you to subscribe to my second channel, Anokai Movie Stories, where I explain this video in Urdu. Today, we're talking about a story that begins with a 40-year-old woman who has been working at a magazine company for the past 8 years. She leaves her daughter with her older sister so she can devote more time to her work. While she's in Brazil for some assignments, she gets a call from her friend who tells her that a girl has been hanging around the boss a lot, and rumor has it that she's about to get a promotion. Hearing this makes Alice feel really bad, so she quickly finishes her work and heads to Paris. She's given her all to this company, but hasn't received a single promotion in the last 4 years. As she boards the flight, she meets a young man named Maxi, who is a college student. Due to a seating error, his economy class seat is given to someone else, so he is moved to business class. He sits next to Alice. Alice is busy with her tasks, while Maxi enjoys the business class seat for the first time. During landing, a storm hits, and Alice gets very scared, so she grabs Maxi's hand. Maxi is thrilled because this is the first time a girl has ever held his hand. In that moment, Maxi falls in love with Alice, but he doesn't say anything. Outside the airport, where Alice's sister and daughter were waiting for her, Maxi finds Alice's pen drive under his seat. He runs to return it, but by then, Alice is already gone. Alice's older sister, who is also a doctor, tells her about the girl. Alice's sister suggests she should meet someone, but Alice isn't interested in having a partner, so she immediately turns her down. She then heads straight to the office, where some girls who aren't fond of her attitude are present. There's also a friend named John who is very supportive of her. Her friend Claire tells her that someone named Maxi called. Alice dismisses it, saying she doesn't know anyone by that name. In fact, it was Maxi trying to return her pen drive, but Alice didn't have time to talk. She goes directly to her boss and asks why she hasn't received a promotion. He says that her articles have become outdated and aren't of interest to people anymore. He suggests she add some romance to her life. He points out a colleague, Lisa, who has been married 3 times, is a social media star, and is boosting magazine sales. He tells her that she should try something similar, otherwise, if things keep going this way, she might even lose her job. Hearing this, Alice becomes worried and works late into the night, wondering how to bring romance into her life. She then finds a note from Claire mentioning that a guy was talking about a pen drive, and she remembers she left her pen drive on the plane. Already stressed, this adds a new worry. She quickly calls the number, which belongs to Maxi. He's at a bar and tries to discourage her from coming, but she arrives anyway. There, some girls who work with her are also present. They're surprised to see her there. Just then, she finds Maxi, who tells her the pen drive is at his house, so she'll have to come over. Maxi leads her outside and suggests she sit on his scooter. Alice hesitates because she's never ridden with anyone like this before. It feels strange, and she can't put on the helmet, so Maxi helps her. Then the 2 girls show up and take a photo that makes it look like Alice is kissing Maxi. They tease her too. She reaches Maxi's house, meets his parents, and finally gets her pen drive back. As she leaves, Maxi asks her out for coffee, but she declines, saying dating a 20-year-old isn't her style. Maxi understands she's probably not interested, so he goes back to his usual life. But, friends, when she goes to work the next day, there's a commotion. Everyone is looking at her strangely. Her friend tells her that a photo of her kissing a guy has gone viral. Alice realizes it's a misunderstanding. She wasn't actually doing that, but her boss praises her, saying he likes this new side of her and that it will spice things up and boost magazine sales. Alice is confused about everything happening around her and wonders what she's actually doing. She talks to John, who advises her to date the guy, even if it's just for show, to make the boss happy and help her articles succeed. Alice felt uneasy about the idea of dating someone just to deceive people. Her main focus was still on her career, so she decided to visit Maxi at his college the next day. Maxi was surprised to see her there, wondering why she was at his college. Alice mentioned that back in college, she had a boyfriend whose name also started with M. She explained that when Maxi had invited her for coffee, it brought back those memories, and she thought they could take things a little further. Alice was speaking confidently, but Maxi seemed to be in a completely different world, as if he was on cloud nine. She handed him an address, asking him to meet her there later that night. It was actually a friend's show, and many people from her field were attending. Alice brought Maxi along, and even though he wasn't dressed for the occasion, she wanted everyone to think they were dating. She started doing things she'd never done before, like drinking alcohol and smoking. Meanwhile, a friend approached Alice and began touching her in a way that made Maxi uncomfortable. To retaliate, he started mocking the show, which made Alice laugh. The friend left, feeling humiliated, and Alice and Maxi resumed their conversation. Suddenly, Alice's sister called, informing her that she'd invited the doctor for dinner that night. Alice couldn't say no, so she lied to Maxi, claiming her daughter wasn't feeling well, and left. Maxi walked her to a taxi and watched her go, feeling touched by his thoughtfulness. As she walked away, Alice couldn't help but think that Maxi genuinely cared about her. Later, at the dinner, Alice, still slightly intoxicated, started asking the doctor bizarre questions, ultimately embarrassing him and causing him to leave. Days passed, and Alice tried hard to win her boss's approval, but nothing seemed to work. Eventually, she decided to take Maxi to a fashion show, where her company's CEO was also present. During the show, one of the models fell, and Maxi rushed onto the ramp to help her up. Alice's boss took notice and praised Maxi for his actions, even suggesting he should consider modeling. Alice found this amusing, and Maxi explained that his mother had always taught him to respect women. Afterward, Alice and Maxi danced together, growing closer as they moved. Noticing some women taking pictures of them, Alice took Maxi outside. He later gave her a ride home, and they shared a moment that felt too intense for the situation. Alice pulled away and went inside, leaving Maxi feeling like he'd made a mistake. Wanting to apologize, he visited her home, where they grew even closer. By morning, Alice was full of regret, feeling awkward about the situation. At that moment, her sister and daughter arrived, and Alice awkwardly kissed Maxi before he left, hinting that she was developing feelings for him, something she had been avoiding. They started seeing more of each other, with Maxi bringing her small gifts that made her happy. Alice enjoyed their time together, not realizing the path she was heading down. She shared with John that she was beginning to like Maxi. Maxi asks her, "You have money and you're good at selling yourself, so why did you choose me?" She knows well how the relationship started and why, so she stays silent, just listening to his words. One day, a new project is launched at the office, and Alice is made the head of it. She feels incredibly happy as she finally achieves what she's been striving for all these years. But what about Maxi? She's lost in thought and ultimately decides she needs to keep her distance from him. Maxi has no idea about her decision, he's clueless about everything. One night, he takes her to their college auditorium and proposes to her, but she's not pleased. She tries to explain that in 10 years, she'll be 50, and what will he do then? What will society think? Maxi says he's fallen in love with her, but Alice says their future together isn't possible and it's best to end things here. She leaves, feeling guilty for using Maxi for her promotion. But what can she do now? She can't tell the truth, and she can't stay with him. After she leaves, her life changes drastically. She stops talking to anyone properly, even her sister. She shares her feelings with her brother, who tells her it will take time to forget the time she spent with Maxi. Even Maxi isn't the same anymore. He shares his sorrow with his friends, who encourage him to move on, but he feels like his world has stopped. Then, a couple of weeks later, the office head comes to see the magazine's cover photo but doesn't like it. She sees Maxi's photo on Alice's laptop homepage and recalls seeing him on a ramp walk once. She decides to choose him as their new model. Alice isn't happy about it because she doesn't want to get close to Maxi again. She tries to argue that he's too young and inexperienced, but her boss insists. So, reluctantly, she has to bring Maxi in, or else her boss will replace her with someone else. She ends up visiting Maxi at his home, where he thinks she's missed him, but she goes straight to business. Maxi, disappointed, leaves in anger. The next day, everyone is ready for the shoot, but Maxi hasn't shown up yet. Alice starts to worry about her job, but then Maxi appears. He's there to help her once again because he still loves her. He goes to the makeup room, where John apologizes for breaking his heart and confesses that he was the one who gave Alice the promotion idea. Maxi learns the truth, and in a moment of anger, he kisses Alice in front of everyone, revealing their relationship as if they were truly together. During the shoot, he struggles to perform, feeling like everything is new to him. He loses his cool and decides to leave. Alice stops him, not to apologize but to demand that he apologize to the photographer instead. She was still consumed by her obsession with her promotion, completely oblivious to Maxi's suffering. Angry, Maxi finally confronts her, revealing the truth about her selfishness. Everyone is shocked, and her boss fires her on the spot, replacing her with someone else. She ends up losing both Maxi and her job. It's true, as they say, Those who try to sail in two boats at once end up drowning. Now she feels lonely, haunted by memories of him everywhere. She even returns to the same auditorium where she had rejected his love. This time, she confesses her feelings in front of everyone, admitting she's given up on planning for the future. She wants to make the most of her present and seeks Maxi's forgiveness, breaking down in tears. Maxi, who still loves her as much as ever, witnesses her confession. Though he said everything in anger, he doesn't actually want to leave her. He steps onto the stage, kisses her, and everyone applauds. After that, Alice never let go of Maxi's hand, and together they started a new business and began living together. And with that, this story comes to an end. Friends, it's good to think about the future, but since we are alive today, we should focus on the present, especially when it comes to love. It's better to express love than to live with regret. I request you all to help us reach 10,000 subscribers on our channel soon. We hope you enjoy this video and will like it. Please subscribe to our channel, and thank you so much for your loving comments. We'll see you in the next video.